We're going to look at using the pen tool to trace this glove on this little cartoon figure. So I'm going to click on the pen tool, and then I'm just starting. Sometimes it's easier to start at a corner point. So I'm just going to click one time, and then the next place I'm going to click is here because it's going to allow me to draw an arc around the cuff of the glove. And you can see that Illustrator is trying to show me a preview. I'm not going to click one time. I'm actually going to hold down when I click, and I'm going to drag. So if I drag, you see it gives me a Bezier curve, and it's going to allow me to draw out the shape of the glove, right, the shape of the cuff. So one of the problems I'm having is that it's filling the shape, so I can't really see where I'm drawing. So you can see over here, there's the fill, and I'm just going to select no fill in the color palette, and then I'm going to choose the stroke fill, and I'm going to choose black for the stroke, just so that I can kind of see what's going on. And it's really kind of easier to use a smaller stroke. It's at 1 point right now, but if I put in 0.5 and hit enter, the stroke becomes a lot smaller. It's just easier to look at. So the next, I'm just going to, the next place I want to click is here. I'm going to start drawing the outside of this glove. But you can see that if I click there, it's creating a weird offset because Illustrator wants to continue the path. So the way that I just draw straight across is I'm going to click one time on that last anchor that I just made, right? And that handle disappears, and now I can click one time to kind of begin to draw that straight line. So straight lines are going to be clicks, right? And curved lines are going to be drags. We're going to drag out a curved line. So I'm going to go up about halfway on the top of the cuff, right, which is probably the best place to start, continue drawing this cuff, and I'm going to drag, and you can see that Illustrator is showing me a little preview of what I'm going to get, and I may not be able to perfectly draw it. I can go back and edit it later, but I'm just trying to get a basic shape, right? So I've dragged that line out, and I've let go, and then I'm going to go to the next point, right? And you can see Illustrator is kind of allowing the line to smoothly transition, and I'm going to drag and just kind of try to, finesse the line a little bit so that it looks better. And again, if I try to draw a rounded vector shape here, you can see that it's not really wanting to let me do that. So I'm going to click to anchor, and then I'm going to click and drag, right? Click and drag. Click the anchor, click and drag, click the anchor, click and drag, click the anchor, click and drag, click the anchor. I'm going to go about halfway on this arc that I'm going to draw and drag, right? And then it won't let me draw that without having the line go too far out of the shape of the illustration. So click, right? And then I'm going to drag, click. Just going to zoom in here so you guys can see what I'm doing, right? So I'm just kind of clicking and dragging to create the shape of these little wrinkles that are appearing inside the glove. I'm choosing Command minus and Command plus to zoom in and out, right? So I'm just going to drag that shape out, and then I'm going to click to basically lock the anchor, right? And I'm just going to click and drag, and then click. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. Come to the middle kind of the shape of that arc, right? Allowing Illustrator, right, to show me a preview of what it's going to look like. Sometimes it looks great. I'm using the space bar to get that little hand so I can move the illustration around. It makes it easier to work on. And I'm going to go about halfway between the start of this arc and the end of this arc, right? I'm just going to click and drag. And I'm going to click one time right on the very first anchor point we made, right? And if I do that, it kind of completes the shape. And then I can click on the black selection tool as a way to kind of stop editing that shape. And if I click off of it, I've deselected it. It's no longer selected.